Good afternoon, and welcome to the ribbon cutting ceremony for Reach 9 BNSF Bridge Pier Protection Project. A couple things before we begin. Because we're on federal property, there was last week the notion that if you're vaccinated and feel comfortable, you may remove your mask. But we'll leave it up to anyone who feels comfortable at this time to do what they feel comfortable with as far as wearing your mask. Second, there are no restrooms, unfortunately. But if you need a restroom, please have your shuttle driver take you to the golf course where there are restrooms there. I would also like to note that there are going to be a few trains probably passing by during their ceremony. We will need to pause as they blow the whistle for the noise, but it's more likely every 20 minutes. So just thank you for your patience. We are so pleased that you could join us today for this exciting and monumental event. For those who don't know me, I'm Colonel Julie Balton. I'm the Los Angeles District Commander. It's part of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Our vision here in the LA District is to continue delivering top-notch infrastructure to protect the American Southwest. This project aims at just that. As one of the final components in a flood risk management system that will protect the lives of nearly 3 million residents living and working downstream of Prado Dam. The success of such an important project cannot be achieved without the collaboration of our local, state, and federal partners and contractors, many of whom are here today with us. Our success is your success. Now, if we could turn our attention to the U.S. flag to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now I would like to introduce Jason Yulee, General Manager and Chief Engineer for Riverside County Flood Control and Water Conservation District. He will be the Master of Ceremonies today. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you, Colonel Balton. It is my absolute honor to be here today to share this moment with you and to serve as your MC and your Master of Ceremonies. Before we start, I would like to take a moment to recognize the several dignitaries who have taken time to join us today. First off, I would like to represent Congressman Ken Calvert with the 42nd Congressional District. I would also like to introduce the chair of the Riverside County Board of Supervisors and the chair of the Riverside County Flood Control District and Water Conservation District Board of Supervisors, the Honorable Supervisor Karen Spiegel. The chair of the Orange County Board, Supervisor Andrew Doe. The chair of the San Bernardino County Board, Supervisor Kurt Hagman. We have the mayor of the city of Corona, Jackie Casillas, here with us today. I'd also like to introduce French Thompson and Lena Kent, who are the General Director of Commuter Construction and the Executive Director of Public Affairs for BNSF. Thank you for joining us today. And we're also very honored to have with us Brigadier General Paul Olin, the Commander of the South Pacific Division of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, as well as Colonel Julie Balton, the Commander of the Los Angeles District that introduced us earlier. So thank you, Colonel Balton. I'd also like to take just a moment to get a round of applause for Jenny Ayala with the LA District, as well as Juliana Adams with the Riverside County Flood Control District, and the team of people who helped put this event on today. This is a beautiful event. It's a beautiful location, beautiful day, beautiful weather. So let's give them a round of applause for making this so great for us today. And so lastly, I'd like to thank you for honoring us with your presence today. I'm so glad we could bring together this small group to mark this key milestone of the Santa Ana Main Stem Project and celebrate the hard work of hundreds of people across multiple entities and agencies. The $80 million BNSF Bridge Protection Project utilized cutting-edge technology. It paves the way to be able to raise the Prado spillway, and most importantly, it protects a bridge that is critical to our regional and national economy. This project is also part of the broader Santa Ana Main Stem project that at the time of its approval was not only one of the larger Army Corps of Engineers projects, it was an innovative watershed-based approach to flood management that required the coordination of 3 local sponsors, the Orange County, San Bernardino County, and Riverside County flood control districts. Each district takes turns being the lead sponsor on elements of the project based on its location. And for the BNSF Bridge project we're here to celebrate today, Riverside County served as the lead sponsor. And so with no further ado, I would now like to introduce the Honorable Congressman Ken Calvert, representing the 42nd Congressional District, who has been a stalwart ally and longstanding supporter of this project. Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason. This is quite a day. We're inching closer to completion. I've been working on this for almost 30 years. But I got to tell you a story. We had a major flood back in 1969, and the congressman at the time, Victor V. Vesey, wrote a letter in 1972 starting the program that we're on today, later to become the first Undersecretary of the Army, head of the Corps of Engineers. And he also worked with the Corps during World War II to develop the ignition device for the atomic weapon, which was classified up until a few years ago, and we can now talk about that. This is certainly great. You have Riverside County, San Bernardino County, Riverside County all together in one room, and then we're not fighting. This is something we're all in favor of, and that's something we ought to celebrate. Obviously, this line is important. This Burlington Northern Santa Fe line carries half the imported goods into the United States. And so obviously, I'm sure we have some people from the railroad here. They were very concerned to make sure that this construction project went on and at the same time didn't slow down the 100 trains a day that cross this major rail facility. And so that did happen. It was a good construction project. Obviously cost a lot of money. I think it cost a little bit more than $80 million, Jason. I think at the end of the day, I think it ended up, what, about $122 million? It's just federal money, right? So what the heck? It carries everything on here. During the pandemic, it carried all our PP&E, but most importantly, it carried all the toilet paper that came across this line that was in dire need around the country. So we celebrate the Corps, all the engineering that went into it, the improvements. This bridge goes back to 1938. We had the floods. And we built this to accommodate that, and then of course the dam was built in 1939, and now we're rebuilding it to make sure that it works for future generations. So I want to congratulate everyone, and I hope we see more milestones here and get this all completed by 2025, right, General? 26, okay, you keep edging on me. I can't run for re-election forever, I got to get this done. Well, thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So thank you, Congressman Calvert. It is now my distinct honor to introduce our district and board chairman and the host for today's event, the Honorable Supervisor Karen Spiegel with Riverside County. Thank you.
Well, Jason, you and your team did a great job in preparing this. The tent, can you imagine the sun beating down on us? Next time, less wind. So I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak. It's quite an honor. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. We are celebrating, we meaning the Flood District, our 75th anniversary. And Jason and his team put together a wonderful video. If we had it, I would be playing it for you. It tells the history of this area and all the challenges, but also all the wonderful things that came from those. The Riverside County Flood Control was first formed, probably in a great part, as a result of the 1938 Santa Ana River floods that devastated Riverside, San Bernardino, and Orange counties. So we've been partners in good and bad at least for almost 100 years. The 1938 floods also led to the Santa Ana River being identified as the most dangerous river west of the Mississippi by the Army Corps. And the construction of Prado Dam in 1941 and to the authorization of Santa Ana River mainstream projects in 1986. So very significant. And we've had Army Corps in our backyard for quite some time now. Also good and bad. The mainstream project has systematically delivered crucial flood control projects to our communities ever since. We certainly keep you hopping. The protection of this bridge, as you can see, it's pretty massive. And if you really hear the details that they were sharing with me, it is really massive. And it is a very necessary step to complete the upgrades for the Prado Dam, which we can't see. You know, this will ultimately provide flood protection for thousands of downstream, that's your folks. It's kind of like to point fingers at everybody. We were on a call, Supervisor Hagman and I don't know where you disappeared, but I hung up early after you left 45 minutes before me. Yeah. You got lost getting here. However, the protection of this bridge is critical for the regional and national economy, and I think Congressman Calvert identified how much of our product comes through, and also our people, you know, with Metrolink. So there's a lot of use on this bridge. Ask some of the people who live here. They hear it all the time. But also it's the local businesses and the jobs. They all depend on the movements of these goods coming from the Port of Los Angeles and the Port of Long Beach. This bridge, as I mentioned, is also significant for maintaining Metrolink commuter rail, servicing the Riverside, San Bernardino, and Orange counties, as well as Los Angeles. And that's where I met Supervisor Doe, is through Metrolink. We serve on the board together. But most importantly, as Congressman Calvert pointed, see this wind? Catch my speech. As Congressman Calvert pointed out, 30 years that he's been working on it, and we know it was many years before that. But thank you for your commitment and your passion to keep things going. And yes, you can keep running. You know, we don't realize the things that go on behind the scenes. You know, that work and all those meetings and all that coordination. And I thank you and your team for keeping them going. It's very, very important for not only Riverside County, but obviously Orange County and San Bernardino. And Brigadier General Owen and Colonel Malton and David Van Torp and the core team for all of your leadership. It takes each one doing their specific task to keep us together and moving forward. And then, of course, the BNSF team that gets those trains going across and moving those products. Thank you for working with us to facilitate this project. Our Main Street partners, which includes Supervisor Doe with Orange County and Supervisor Hagman with San Bernardino, and all your staff. We know staff does most of the work, right? I admit it. But we have to tell them to do what they need to do, right? I'm just kidding. But it's all your proactive contributions and getting together and working. And I think that was what, when Congressman Calvert talked about the three of us being here, 3 counties and not fighting. This has not been anything that's been controversial. This has been a team effort. As I said to all the players, everybody here has been significant in the accomplishment, as well as our cities. Jackie's here for representing as mayor with Corona, but I also have the cities of Eastvale and Norco, which are directly adjacent with the dam and all the upstream, your downstream. Your side stream? You got it all, okay. But it takes every entity to work together. And of course, I have to really thank Jason and your team, because it is your team that has done the hard share. And now, when we're done today and all this project gets done, they're continuing to carry the load. And I want to thank you and Juliana and, of course, her team for everything that we're doing in this mainstream project. In many ways, we're now coming full circle, because if you remember the beginning of the story is it started with the Santa Ana River. and the Prado Dam in 41. And the raising of the dam in 4, 5, 6 years? Okay. It's getting longer. Before we're gone, we're going to be 10 years. Okay. We are also excited about the work that the Corps is doing to restore the mural. How many of you like the mural that's on the dam? You drive by it? Well, it was a lot prettier a few years ago. And that's our goal, is to get that restored. At least something to represent. It's very personal to me, and I need to share that because my mother-in-law was mayor of Corona in 1976 when that dam was painted. It was high school students that did that. Of course, we probably wouldn't let them do how they did it back then. It won't be done that way today, but some of the stories of what I was hearing about those high school students, because my husband was part of that group. And we look forward to working together, completing this project, completing this spillway, but also the painting of the mural is very important to the communities that pass that every single day. And that represents all of us together, because that's what America's about, is working together. So thank you all for your contributions today.
Thank you, Supervisor Spiegel. It is now my honor to introduce our next speaker. It will be Supervisor Hagman with the Orange County Board of Supervisors. Sorry, San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors. I'm sorry. I apologize. My mistake. So I would now, allow me to correct myself, I would now like to introduce the San Bernardino County Board Chair, Supervisor Kurt Hagman. Thank you. Sorry about that.
No worries. You can be confusing because I used to represent Orange County back in the legislature too. But no, it's a great honor to be here today, representing the County of San Bernardino and the County Flood Control District. Like my good friend said, the staff does all the work, and I'm just here to give our thanks to all of you for putting this together. We have a great partnership with our counties. We serve on multiple boards together. We're friends in our off times that we don't see each other, either Zooming lately the last year or in-person meetings. But this is a great collaboration, especially with Army Corps. Army Corps is a significant part of my district with all the lands they have in the south of Chino, the Prado Park as well. And nothing demonstrates this partnership that we have going like the completion of this project, the Santa Ana River Mainstream Project. And previously completed the phases of work, including the Seven Oaks Dam and the San Mateo Creek at the river's upper reach of San Bernardino County. So this milestone is just another great celebration to continue the work that the Army Corps is partnering up with the counties. And I can't thank Congressman Ken Calvert enough. You've been a champion for all of us here in the Inland Empire. For the 20-plus years I've been serving, you've been doing it even longer. So thank you so much for always fighting for us out here. And this BSNF bridge is used on the southern leg, as I said, of the Metrolink that provides transportation and connectivity between Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties. The protection of this bridge ensures Metrolink residents and visitors alike can have a safe, efficient, dependable, and on-time transportation service to live, work, and play with throughout all our 3 counties. And again, thank you, Congressman Calvert and their congressional delegation for all your service. General, it's a pleasure to have you here, and ma'am, it's always a pleasure to be working with you. I know our offices will be working closer together on the improvements we plan to do to the park upstream of the dam. And to my colleagues, Andrew and Karen, thank you. It's always a pleasure to work with you. But congrats to everyone for putting this together. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. Okay. I would now like to introduce the chair of the Orange County Board of Supervisors. I've got my notes right here. The Honorable Supervisor Andrew Doe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason. It's my pleasure to join all of you here in Corona this afternoon. I want to thank first Congressman Calvert. I remember 14 years ago when I first came to your office to talk about this project. Little did I know you already had a 15-year head start on me on this project. But so glad to be here and celebrating one more accomplishment in the riverbed project for Santa Ana. And General Owen and Colonel Bolton, thank you so much for your help and your leadership. And the county partners, the Riverside and San Bernardino counties, and the collaboration of the BSNF team. And I look forward to working with all of you on future projects as well. You know, we stand here today on the shoulder of our predecessors who started this project a long time ago and who came together with the foresight to do these infrastructure projects to protect lives and properties for generations to come. I know it was important to them, but I don't know if they could realize like how much of an impact they have made, and how, given how much Orange County and Riverside and San Bernardino County have grown over the last 40, 50 years, and the number of lives that are affected by these projects. And so it's really important that we stand together and take on these major infrastructure projects together. And when completed, this bridge protection project will allow Prado Dam to release at its full capacity of 30,000 cubic feet per second. That is a tremendous capacity, and it will protect us both downstream for us mostly, for flood events that, once every 190 years? Well, it used to be 190 years, but let's hope it stays 190 years and not sooner than that. And the project here also supports our ability to maintain maintenance, right, on the riverbed as well, and the flood control channels. And I think it's going to be so important going forward in future generations. When you mentioned the Prado Dam and the flag, I was a new immigrant moving here from Vietnam in '75. And I remember driving the 91 and seeing the flag and how patriotic and so moving it was. So I share with you, it is a part of our history growing up here, even for us from Orange County. And I want to echo Supervisor Hackman's comment. To the many of you who work behind the scene to make this project happen. You know, sometimes projects like this can be a thankless job. You got a lot of pressure, a lot of demands on you, limited resource, and guess what? When you do your job right, very few people know about it, right? They don't know enough of what the difference you made in their lives to thank you. Well, that's why I want to take this opportunity to say to all the staff, both at the county level and at the Army Corps level, and also all of the staff in the elected offices collectively, you work together, you coordinate all of the efforts that are needed in order to make this happen. And to all of you, thank you very much. And thank you again for having me here today.
Thank you, Supervisor Doe. Okay. It is now my honor to introduce the commander of the South Pacific Division of the Army Corps of Engineers, Brigadier General Paul Owen. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jason. So, good afternoon, Representative Calvert, Mayor Casillas, Chairman Doe, Supervisor Doe, Supervisor Rowe, and Supervisor Spiegel, and Mr. Yulee, and let's see, who else am I missing here? I think we have folks from Malcolm Construction out in the crowd, and I think we want to recognize them, and thank you for the work that we partnered with you on this. And anyway, just been an incredible team of effort here to get this particular project done. So I am honored to stand up in front of you today and represent a team that has laid the foundation literally laid the foundation long before I got here. But I think that's my role today, is to help recognize those folks that have worked on this job over the past several years and help bring it to fruition. So it is an important contribution to this community, and we're happy it's one more step toward our goal of the Santa Ana River Main Stem project to get to the point where we can release 30,000 cubic feet of water per second. And we're not quite there yet. We got a couple more things we need to do. We got to finish Reach 9, Phase 5B. We got to finish updating our water control manual, and then we'll be able to, I don't know, at that time, maybe breathe a little sigh of relief that we have a community that has a higher level of protection from future storms. So very important project for the community. And I think in the Corps of Engineers, I look at us as 4 big things that we have to balance every day with every project. One of them is providing for national security. Another one is enabling economic development. Third is protecting the environment. And then the fourth is prepare for and respond to disasters. So this project incorporates all 4 of those things. Providing for national security, that is the people that live around in this basin that could be affected. And we all know that spending $1 now, I think, on prevention is worth $7 of at least for every dollar we would spend on responding or trying to clean up after a disaster. So glad to do that. Enabling economic development. We see the train. I think, is that on purpose there? BNSF? I'm not sure. But it's a powerful statement about our cooperation and the partnership and the techniques and things that we use for construction to do all we could to minimize the impact on that train. And if that goes over every day, at least every 20 minutes or so, and incredibly important. And we tried really hard to work with BNSF to make sure that we did not disturb anything. It probably cost us a little more money and a little more time to finish this project, but understanding the overall economic impact that the railroad has on our economy and the engine that it is for our economy was important to do that. So glad we got it done and worked with you to get this done. It looks like a pretty simple project out there, right? If you look out there, you just see maybe a little bit of concrete added to those abutments, but 30,000 cubic feet of water is no joke. It can do a lot of damage and would have wiped out that bridge if we did not take these measures for this particular project. So very important. Protecting the environment. So we always want to do that. It is a balancing act. Sometimes we can't get all the best benefits from every single one of these lines of efforts, but we have to balance them all. And then prepare for and respond to disasters. So this is, again, very important to the community for that particular aspect. So, a little bit more about the Santa Ana River Main Stem project. So it's, I got here a year ago, and I think one of the first things I did was come to Los Angeles District, and I had to learn about this really complex system that, we have a lot of work going on in y'all's backyards, and it is, really important for us to maintain this partnership, but for also to have a bigger understanding of what we're trying to do here. So, it's a $2.8 billion program, the Santa Ana River Main Stem. We've got about $2.1 billion worth of work done. We've got about $700 million left, and that's really going to be the dam raise and the spillway redesign. So that is something that's coming, and as I told Congressman Gallisman, our plan is to award a contract in 2023 and finish construction by 2026. So a couple more terms, Congressman, for you. You could work it out. So anyway, but that is the other thing I think I wanted to talk about real quick was we also have really 4 lines of effort within the Corps of Engineers that we talk about, and one of them is people, and our people have done incredible things here, not just the Corps of Engineers people, but the county, the contractors, BNSF, and everybody else that's involved in this program. You can't do this without a partnership. And as all of our elected officials have mentioned, most of us haven't been around for 30 years and been here from start to finish. It takes a continuity and a single purpose vision that's shared by people from a couple generations, frankly, to achieve this particular vision. And hopefully it won't ever have to take that long again, but that's where we are right now, and it's we're getting there. So, all right. I think I wanted to point out just some of the complexity of the construction of this project, and it's standing on this site. I think I was here about 6 months ago. We had talked about how difficult and the specialized equipment we had to use to dig 40 feet down to make sure that the foundations for those abutments were proper and were in the ground right. So there was a lot of innovation and kind of revolutionary kind of construction techniques that we used during this particular project to make sure that we could balance those 4 different aspects, especially enabling economic development. But by modifying the original 2015 design, we built a full-scale physical model at the U.S. Army Research and Development Center to make sure that the BNSF Railroad Bridge would be fully protected from water releases, and be able to go there. So, the partnership with Riverside County Flood Control and Water Conservation District and Orange County Public Works, to get this done is certainly recognized. Jason, I know you've been a part of this a long time, so I just wanted to recognize you specifically. So, our team worked exceptionally diligently during the construction of the project, and, keeping that railway active and not interfering with it just allowed for that. Especially during COVID, we heard some of the importance of what was going on there, during that time was really important. So the completion of this construction not only showcases and marvels the marvels of complex engineering, but also symbolizes the dedication and the commitment to providing a flood risk protection to the nation here today and for many generations to come. A great job by the Los Angeles District team to bring this project to fruition. It couldn't have happened without the partnership of all the people that are in this room. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Brigadier General Owen. The formal part of our program is now complete. I would now like to ask our speakers to come up to the ribbon, and maybe Juliana, if you can help get the ribbon prepared. And we would also like to invite Mayor Casillas, French Thompson, and Lena Kent to come join us for the ribbon cutting. And so if we could please have everyone come forward, and we can officially mark the completion of this, or near completion of this project.
That's what I think it is.
By the way, everybody, he's one of my constituents. Just let everybody know that.
She's one of mine.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Okay, with the arrival of the train and the honking of the horn, I think we can declare this project complete. Thank you, everyone.